Today on Deep South Homestead, we're going to be showing you how to fry Danny corn. Danny corn is a field corn, and since the weather has been coming in, we've had Tropical Storm Cindy, lots of rain, continued rain for the next few days as remnants of it, and some of our stalks are laying over that are already heavy with full ears. Some of it the animals have gotten, but maybe we had no animals in the trap the last 2 days, so let's hope that's over for a while. The majority of the field's still standing. Some of it's, about a quarter of it's leaning. So we took these that were near the ground off in hopes that when it quits raining, the sun will pull some of it back up. But we're going to fry Danny corn. As you can see, I've already shucked one. I like to cut the end off here first and then pull the shucks back and then cut or break the stalk off. And that's just my way of doing it. I'm sure Danny has another way. We'll see.
This is our Danny corn here today that we are shucking out some to cut off and make fried corn out of. You can see some of it we've already got done here. The beautiful ears. Now it looks like this until it dries, but when it dries the kernels turn all kind of different psychedelic colors. But that's what it is. We're getting some to actually do us some fried skillet corn here today. And I want you to notice this particular one here, actually there was another one on the other side that actually fell off around there in the yard, but a lot of times the one ear will have 2 or 3 more trying to come out of it. And you can see when I pull it off, there's actually another little ear inside it. Now those never do actually form or anything like that, but that tells you how prolific it is. Now the animals really love to eat this stuff. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to see about shucking some of this back and show you. This is how tight knit this stuff is. You can't hardly pull the shucks off of it. I'm gonna see if I can just go ahead and break and get some of them. They're so thick. That's what makes them hang on the stalks and dry so well, is that they're so thickly wound. And this is not sweet corn now. You have to understand this is field corn. A lot of people got this concept in their head that field corn is only for animals. Field corn can be eaten by people as well. Now the silks don't come off of the field corn as well as it does sweet corn. Now this is not too bad, but you'll notice we have no worm problems. We haven't had any in any of our corn so far. Let me see if I can get this broke on off. I'm going to kind of show you what an ear of Danny corn looks like before it actually turns colors, and it's in the edible stage. This is what it looks like, y'all. It's a perfect ear of corn. It almost makes perfect ears every time. We feel like we've been blessed this year with as much rain as we've got, that we've even gotten what we've got. We're battling animals and weather conditions and everything, but we're going to try to get some out of the field for putting up in the freezer for fried field corn. I want to show you this ear right here. This one is beginning to go a little bit later into the milk stage. See the red tint on the tops of it here? You don't want to let it go beyond this stage if you're going to harvest it for eating fresh, because it will get a little bit tough on you. This one's still edible for making fried skillet corn out of, because we're going to cut it off the cob, but you don't want to let it go any further than this because the kernels are actually beginning to turn colors. A lot of people don't realize that this corn that has different colored kernels on it actually starts off just white and yellow, just like all other corn. It's just in its later days of maturity that it actually begins to start turning colors. So I thought maybe that'd be interesting for y'all to see. This is our Danny corn that we've been harvesting this morning. We're going to make some fried skillet corn today. I like to just take a knife and I like to cut it kind of close to the cob, because you don't want, this is not cream style. Now you have to understand, you're going to want to cut it, don't get in a big hurry, just cut it right close to the cob. It's kind of a little bit time consuming, and if your knife goes through it, it ain't going to hurt nothing. I mean, but I try to get right against the cob, and if you got a few silks in it, you don't worry about them. We're just going to take our time. We're just going to kind of cut down through here. You're not going to get it perfect, so don't let that freak you out. We're just going to These are some pretty big kernels. And we're trying to cut real close to the cob. Okay, now we're not going to rake it because see, it's just a clean cob when you get through with it. These are a lot bigger kernels. Now, we don't worry too much about the silks in there because they're not harmful. You can pick them out if you want them. I mean, we don't spend a lot of time doing them. You can actually make a tea from them, to be honest with you. This is 2 ears right here. This is basically enough for somebody if they wanted to eat some. So I mean, it's a little bit goes a long way. We're going to be putting some of this up in the freezer this year so we can have fried skillet corn all during the winter time. We'll be showing y'all that when we do it. So many people are asking us, is there a difference between field corn and sweet corn? And the answer is yes. Field corn is not sweet. And you see that? There's a lot of corn in that.
We're in the kitchen. We're going to be cooking our Danny corn. We're going to be frying Danny corn. That's what we call it. This is my iron skillet, my lid from Lodge, from Patera, from DSH Homestead. Thank you, girl. This is not my egg skillet. That one, seasoned perfect for eggs. We don't cook in it other than eggs. This one I use for other cooking. We're going to use 1/4 cup of coconut oil. And I'm just going to put it in there. We're going to turn it on medium. We don't want it up real high. We're using, turn it around this way, one of Danny's spoons. He has put King on it. This one's probably, gosh, what, 10, 12 years old?
Several years.
We're going to let this skillet get hot. You'll start noticing a sheen on the oil in a few minutes. Okay, so we've got it where you can see. We're going to start adding the corn. Okay, we have coconut oil in this, but you can use bacon, grease, lard, you can use butter, whatever you'd like to do. That's okay. Once it starts doing that, you kind of move it around in the pan. Let it start cooking. And I don't have this very high because I don't like to burn stuff. And if you don't like the silks, I mean, it's easy to pick them out. And start getting it to frying a little bit. We're going to add pepper. And you add to taste. Danny likes to measure, but I don't. And then you just sit and stir for a little bit and get it kind of coated, and we'll put the lid on it in a little bit and leave it and stir about every 5 minutes, I guess. You just don't want it to burn, but you want to kind of cook it down. And we'll show you what it looks like in a few minutes. And because this is field corn, it's not sweet corn, it's field corn, you have to keep stirring it just like it would be sweet corn, because if you can see, it's not sticking, but it would stick if you don't keep on with it. You have to keep moving it in the pan. Let it sit for just a few minutes, couple of minutes, and stir again. Because you don't want it to burn. And you can see the texture, how it's starting to turn. And that's what you want. You want it to start turning. You can see the difference in the colors. Let it sit for a couple of minutes and we'll stir again. This is what it's looking like. It's been going 15 minutes or more, almost 20. And you see how it's changed. And we're going to turn it off and let it sit for about 10 minutes, and it should be ready to eat. And that is fried Danny corn. The corn turns a little brown looking color. We let it sit with the lid on it for 20 minutes or so. Should be really good and done. This is our meal tonight. We have fried Danny corn, squash and onions, sauteed. We have our pink-eyed purple whole peas and our stuffed jalapenos, which has cream cheese and sharp cheddar cheese in it. Doesn't that look great? All Deep South except for the cream cheese and cheddar. Thank you guys from Deep South Homestead.